What's going on, everybody? Mark Fleetwood here. Welcome back to the Daily Grind Trader. Today, I'm going to try to do some scalping again on either US30 or US100, whichever one lines up best for me. But before I start, there's a couple things I want to go over. There's a couple long-term, more broader charts that I like to go over, just because I want to make sure that we are aware of what the macro outlook could be. First, looking at the DXY on a weekly chart. The DXY was in a range for about 8 years or 7 years, from 2014 to 2021, before finally breaking out in 2022. So almost 8 years in a range. This drop off that we've had over the past couple months could literally just be the first legitimate retrace of this new area. Just broke through the 50% retrace line from top to bottom, or from bottom to top, and there could be a bounce. There could be a bounce for the DXY. I'm watching this range to see if it goes back into this previous range bound area, or potentially goes in, retests around 100, and then can dip all the way down to 89. If that's the case, if it keeps continuing going down like this, then the markets will continue to rally. But the DXY is highly correlated in an inverse fashion to the rest of the markets, so I am definitely concerned about the DXY as far as whether or not it's going to hit the top of the old range and actually have it be a bounce, almost like just a very long retest range, or if it'll go back through and the markets will continue to rally. US30, I don't think a whole lot of people realize that the Dow Jones, the US30, at this point is only 8% down from its all-time high, and at one point was only down like 4% in December, or 5.5%. Currently sitting, it's 8.3% down, and maxed down at about 22.77%. So the Dow Jones has already kind of recovered fairly well, and looks like it's retested the old trend line and had a good bounce. The concern with the Dow Jones, the US30, this yellow line here, if it falls and this becomes a double top, there's a potential for it to run back down and have a large double bottom effect. But as of right now, it posted a higher high here and a higher low here. You have to see where it goes from there. The SPX US500 had recently posted a higher low, and on this higher low, now we need to find a higher high to break structure and to break trend line. So SPX is definitely close to that. While it looks like things are starting to getting kind of dicey right here along this trend line, it seems like it's just a hard rejection every time it gets to this trend line. So we'll have to watch this closely. The SPX could reverse, and all of these things I'm talking about with the US500, US100, US30, these general markets, even US100, the NASDAQ, formed a higher low at the end of December. It could potentially form a higher high, and if it does, then again it breaks this downward trend line, and it could signify that the overall long-term bottom is in. But it is definitely hard to tell that. The big picture here that I want to talk about for long-term macro is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin on a weekly chart, over the last 3 major bull runs, from peak to trough, 413 days, 357 days, and 371 days most recently. And typically there's a sideways period. 2015 was it was almost the entire year sideways before breaking the 50-period moving average, or 50-week moving average, and shooting up and starting a new bull run. Break the 50-week moving average, start a new bull run. So I think Bitcoin, while it's bottomed, I think the bottom is in. I think the bottom was at 15.5 touch. I think we still have significant amount of time before we actually break out of a sideways momentum, or just kind of running sideways, building momentum to get to a new bull run. I just want to bring that stuff up first before I even start trading, because like I said in the last video, trading right at the morning bell, right at 9:30, the volatility is just crazy, so it's almost pointless to try to trade. But now we're going to go into the 5-minute charts. Let's see what we have. So we had a lot of volatility. Look at this candle coming down. So we're pretty sideways here. I mean, we've been sideways in this range since sometime last evening. So I really want to see this range break before I make any type of trade. I want to see a low come below this, or a high close above this. I want out of this range before I make any trade for the US 30. Well, this is probably a pretty solid range. Well, 0.3%, so it's not really a whole lot of room to give you any type of confirmation and make money off the trade. The US 100, the US 100 is looking stout. It's going up, so this might be a better position to enter. Look for a pullback here on the US 100. You've got definitely upward momentum. So we can definitely look for a long position on the US 100 once we can get a pullback. Actually, you know, the most recent pullback here this morning, I think there was some producer inflation data that came out. It must have been I don't know. It's hard to say. It looked like there was just a big spike up and down there. The PPI was coming out. I don't know if it was good or bad. If anybody in chat knows how that data came out, if it was inflation down or inflation up for the producers, let me know. But you know, that was that big spike here around 8:30 where they're just man, that's a liquidator candle there. So again, I'm going to give it a few minutes, let the volatility chill out a little bit around 9:30 to 9:45. You always have these massive volume spikes and just crazy volatility. It's hard to get a beat on the market. Take a look at the SPX. Again, it's going to be hard to long the S&P 500 right now because it's up against a long-term downtrend. It's really hard to take a long on that against that trend line. So looking like there's going to be a short opportunity here. Looks like everything is kind of coming down, looking like there might be a dump in the market today. I know there's a lot of flipping back and forth. I typically, once I have a beat on, you know, which market I really want to focus in on, I do. But at opening, I take a look at all three and see if one is range bound, if one is trending, whatever the case might be. My trading style, my trading strategy requires more of a trending market. So I have 3 opportunities to find a trending market, or else I don't trade that day. If everything's kind of sideways, if everything's kind of stale, then I don't get a trade that day. I think I may make this the last live stream for opening bell and make a video shortly after my trading session. That way I can cut out some dead time just waiting for opportunities. I can do an opening riff, start checking the charts, you know, line up support and resistances and stuff, and then just kind of cut the video until there's an opportunity so that I can kind of streamline it a little bit better. I definitely want to continue to document my trades for the Ftmo challenge, and I can show you guys here. I'm up a little bit. I'm up about 1.2% on the challenge. I've got until February 5th, so I got about 2.5 more weeks to get it up to 110. So been kind of hit or miss so far, but I am slightly profitable. So hopefully I can flip that and make it a little bit more profitable. Again, this initial volatility will be almost untradeable until things settle down. Again, real quick, I'm going to go to a longer term look just briefly to show you guys. You see it on the daily, don't have to go all the way out to the weekly, but the NASDAQ is coming up towards the trend line, towards the downward trend line, which I could see a potential reversal coming in soon, or a break of structure, one or the other. Something's going to happen, but as of right now, it looks like we posted a slightly higher low, and then we would need to post a higher high to break structure and break the trend line. And the same thing with the SPX. SPX posted a higher low, and now is looking to post a higher high if we can break the downward trend line that's been, since the market has flipped. But just want to reiterate those, and we'll go back onto the 5-minute charts looking for our trades and for our scalps. But again, SPX, it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard to put a long position in here. So I'm actually going to just stop looking at the US500 just because I can't justify making a trade there for a long position. If US30 breaks above this range, then we can definitely look to go long on US30. NASDAQ is in a starting an uptrend. While it hasn't been a very strong uptrend, it is an uptrend. Oh, there you go. I forgot to put the market session is on. Okay, let's see if we can get a close out here. Get a close above this range, and then we'll be looking at the US30 for a trade. If you want to see a pullback, I'm going to see a retest of this area, and I may not get it, so I may not be able to trade the breakout, but wow, that came down pretty quick. It's a good example as to why you always wait for the candle to close. Like that looked like it was going to be a good breakout, and it's now a very bearish looking candle with about 45 seconds left. So if y'all see, that is getting over excited traders into the market and then taking their stop losses. Interesting. Oof. Honestly, if this candle closes out as another doji, I'd be tempted to long it. That'd be 3 consecutive candles with the wick low relatively the same, and then you see immediately then the price gets down there, it just spikes right back up to the center line. So it's looking like that could be a hard area of buyers getting in if it holds. Typically, I love trading like a double or triple doji reversal pattern. So you get the retrace down, then you have a doji, and this closes as a double doji. It'd be a good potential reversal pattern to get to the upside off of the retrace. Now we're gonna set this up. Maybe a long position, slightly more stop loss than the lowest wick, just below the 50 period moving average, and go 2 to 1. And you're gonna just depend on how this closes. If it closes as a doji, or even as like a morning star type 3 candle pattern, this would be a tradable long position for me. I'm gonna start looking at this here. US100 long position, stop loss. That's just giving me my position size for how much risk I want to have. If this doesn't close as a doji, then I'm not going to take it. I don't want it to be still trending down. I want it to be kind of stuck in that indecision or moving to the upside. I don't want to take a long position while the market's still actively going down. Just another minute left. Get this position. Let's see, looks like we're getting a morning star. I want to drop my buy a little bit. So market buy. All right, a little higher than what I wanted it to be, but we're in. Got a stop loss 11,600. So we're gonna modify the order. Stop loss 11,600. Okay. We're good there. And I'm gonna go back to the main chart, so I'm gonna try to get this as close to accurate as I can. I'm gonna be about here. I'm gonna go 2 to 1. About 11,698. That's gonna be about where we need to be. So again, we took We had 3 wicks down, a long body, a doji, and then another kind of doji to the upside. So we entered in on the close of this candle. Hopefully this 50 period moving average will hold as a support. That's going to be our bottom of our stop loss, and we're looking 2 to 1. So 11,698. Again, this looks like a very big position, but you're going to zoom in out and it's not that bad of a position. It's not that big. So I'm going to see where we're at here. Set my take profit limit. 698. Zoom this out a little bit. And that's how it looks on MetaTrader 4. It's not the most beautiful setup, but it works. It's kind of easy to see and easy to use. You see here the position is up $500 as of right now on a very small move so far. And then here we just kind of watch from here. Again, that's a trending move. You see that we're trending, and we pull back to the 50 period moving average. And if we add in a 20 period EMA, you see on the 20 period, nothing closed below the 20, and actually had a really good bounce off the 20 here, even though it wicked through, nothing closed below that 20 period. So that's another good indicator that that was a sufficient retrace. So hopefully now the market has chosen its direction and will continue going up, and we can run out this long. So yeah guys, I think I'm gonna call the stream here. I hope that anybody that stopped by enjoyed. Hope you guys got something from it. See a little bit of how my mind works and the way that I'm trying to execute and take trades. As always guys, until the next time, peace.